Hi, it's John, and today we're going to take a look at the updated Ulanzi backpack strap clip and see how it stacks up against the first version. Just a quick word of warning though, I'm a little obsessed with the Ulanzi quick release systems. The gateway drug was the great Ulanzi F38 travel tripod that I'm actually filming this video on. Since then, it's been a spiral of adding plates to each of my cameras and bases to my tripods, monopods and action cameras. If you're new to quick release systems, Ulanzi has made it very quick to switch a camera from one support to another, or switch out different cameras completely. It's really elegant and works well, with just a few niggles that we'll go over maybe in a future video. I think you're getting a sense of my compulsion, but let's get back to the new version of the backpack strap. It's a solid upgrade over the original Ulanzi clip in a number of important ways. For the last couple of years, I've used the Peak Design slide camera strap to carry my camera. But after adding F38 plates to all my cameras, I picked up the first version of Ulanzi's backpack strap clip, as I figured it would add versatility to carrying a camera. I usually attach the clip to my Peak Design sling bag, which conveniently has a clip mounting point on the end. After using it a while, it was definitely a useful addition, but the implementation isn't perfect. First, the tolerances are very tight on the first version of the clip, and if you don't accurately line up the plate with the mount, it often gets stuck. Next, the release lock on the first version of the clip is pretty much unworkable for anyone with large fingers. It's wedged between two of the tightening screws. I just can't get my fingers in there to turn the button. And my final niggle with version 1 is that the release button is on the wrong side. This means I can't remove the camera from the clip with just one hand. So when Ulanzi released a new version of the clip, I was pretty interested to see what had changed. When the clip arrived, it looked pretty familiar to me, as it looks similar to the design of the shoulder strap mount. The way the plate engages and is retained by the base is a big improvement over the first gen clip. So here's the first gen clip. You can see that if you don't line up the plate accurately, it won't go into the base without a fight. Tight tolerances are great on a tripod when you don't want the camera to move, but on a backpack strap clip, it's harder to line up the plate, especially if you're outdoors. And here's the new version. You can see that it's much less demanding to engage, making it much easier to use. Okay, let's see this in practice. With the first version, while it's not overly difficult to put the camera onto the clip, it does need a little focus. And with the release button on the left, it's always a two-handed job to remove the camera. Also, the release button can get a little sticky every now and then. And here's with the second generation clip. You can see that it can be smoothly released with one hand. It's a bit cumbersome to operate with big gloves on, but it's completely doable. The updated version also has a nice positive feel when putting the camera on the clip. You can hear a click as the top retainer snaps into place. This is a subtle but helpful improvement over the first version. When I was doing some research about the clip, I found a review that wondered whether the increased amount of play between the base and the plate could mean that the plate might pop over the bottom retainer. I'm pretty sure this can't happen, as the side rails keep the plate down near the base, which in turn stops it moving over the bottom retainer. Also, the top retainer has a curved shape and extends in an arc so it curves over the top of the camera plate. I don't see it going anywhere. Now, turning to the locking mechanisms, I'm not sure the version 1 needs one, as the release button is flanked by the two tightening screws. But in real life, unexpected stuff does happen, so I can see that having a lock could be reassuring. As I said before, the problem with the first gen clip is that I can't physically get my thumb and index finger into the space between the bolts to turn the lock, so it's effectively useless to me. This has been completely redesigned with the version 2 clip. The release button is still protected from accidental release, as the button is covered by the bottom of the camera, but it's easy to access when you want to. Some additional concerns with the version 1 have been raised online. Reviewers mention that the tightening screws dug into their chest and arms. I've not had this issue because of the way I attach it, but I could see how this could happen. The new version is an elegant, unfussy industrial design that ditches the sticky outy bits. I attached version 2 to the backpack two ways. One around the outside of the strap, and the other way was through the webbing attached to the strap. Either way, version 2 looks much more skin-friendly than the first version. And reviewers have said that they don't like the amount of time it takes to fit the version 1 of the clip to a strap. Again, this isn't a big deal for me, given how infrequently I move the clip from one bag to another. But the new version has a completely redesigned attachment mechanism which will be quicker to attach to a strap in pretty much all mounting scenarios. I think that wraps up the issues with the first gen clip, but when I first saw the redesign, I had a couple of questions on how it would function in actual use. Firstly, I couldn't figure out how the clip generated enough tension to hold it in place. So after a little snooping, when you close the clip, the lanyard gets drawn over what is effectively a cam mechanism. This pulls the lanyard tight across the T-shaped buckle, forcing the back panel against the body of the clip. The panel also has a rubber surface which also helps prevent slip. Mystery solved. And the other question I had is what prevents the clip opening button from getting bumped and opening when you don't want it to? Well, the clip opening button is recessed, which provides some protection, and when a regular camera is attached to the clip, the camera base completely covers the opening button. My attempts to press the opening button ended in failure. With an action camera in the clip, I think it's possible the button could be pressed, but I'm guessing it's unlikely. I'm not going to do a deep dive on specs, but I've included some on the screen. Feel free to pause the video to check out compatibility of plates and straps and see how much weight the system can support. Ulanzi includes a second different lanyard, which allows the clip to be attached to different size straps. The lanyard looks pretty insubstantial, but I think we've gotten used to this type of material, supporting our expensive cameras since Peak Design came out with their anchor system. In Ulanzi's marketing blurb, it says that it's made of a high wear resistance material used in parachutes and the aviation industry. It features a 3-layer wear warning, which indicates when the lanyard is getting broken down and needs replacing. Okay, so I've had my quick release fix for the day, so let me sum up my thoughts. Overall, I think it's a nice upgrade. It certainly doesn't make the older version redundant, as it still works well in most uses, but the version 2 is just improved all around. A scenario where I think the new version will work really well is skiing with my family, where I take my Z50 and 50-250 with me. I'd put the camera in my 3-litre Peak Design sling to protect it until we get to the slopes, and then use the clip attached to the bag when I'm skiing so I can reach around and release the camera to quickly shoot pictures of the kids. The new version is less fiddly to operate and will be a big improvement if you're wearing gloves and juggling ski poles for sure. So that wraps up this video. If you have any questions or your own observations about the clip, please leave a comment below. And thanks for checking out the video. If it's been helpful, please like the video, subscribe and leave a comment below.